Hi, this is the Lost Electronics. Today we're in a video about it because I just got an email a few minutes ago about this. Was a about a security breach at Ubiquiti for the user account. So just kind of give everyone's a heads up, and you would basically want to go and change your password. Make sure you don't use it just like any other kind of default times. Anytime there's any kind of security breaches, then you may also want to be able to go and change your password. I use KeyPass, so that way, at least if my password is about over 128 characters, and that way I know that if there is a security breach, then at least it's going to be very difficult for them to have it, and it's not terribly hard to change it because again, it's just generate a new password. But again, this tells you how important it is to kind of make sure you kind of make sure that everything's up to date, and if there's any security breaches, to be able to make sure you update your password. Go to the link and click onto and change your basically change your password. So what you would end up doing, you would just click on the link. Then you'd want to go and log into your username. And then when you log into your username, then it'll allow you to be able to change your password. The other way you can also do, if you want to do a local access, is go down to manage users, and then you can also manage your users right there. So again, those are things that you basically you want to be able to if you want to be able to make sure that you can go edit, you can actually edit the features, basically make changes, and that gives you the capability of kind of going through, make sure that you have a strong password, make sure you don't use any kind of there, and use something like KeyPass. So that way, if if there is any kind of data breach, is not hard to do. Just kind of the generic information here. It basically is if you want to go here, that are good website you want to check have I've been pwned.com is another one if you ever want to see if you've been in any kind of data breaches. Type your email address in here. We're just going to use test@test.com. It's not an actual real email address, but I was going to say here. And it says, look, it looks like they have been there, and it tells you every one of these data breaches you've been on. Just to make sure that you don't have another email address that probably doesn't even exist. You're probably not going to find anywhere here as. And look, you can see that that's what it doesn't look like when there. So it is important every so often. Great website also would be able to check have I been pwned.com is a good way to be also check if you were there. But what this video was mainly about was the Ubiquiti getting a letter just a few minutes ago on how that there is been a security breach, and they're basically apologizing, let them know that their information has been exposed, and it's a good idea for everyone to be able to change it. I just thought it was important when I saw that email to come through to make just a quick video on this to be able to kind of let everyone know. I'm going to try to post this as many places as I can, so that way we can at least let everyone know, so they can try to update all their security policies to make sure that if, especially on a small business more than a personal, but anyway, either way, make sure your information is not exposed to the internet. So change your password, update your password to make sure that they're there. I don't like using the cloud-based services. I personally keep everything mine local as much as I can, because again, I don't want to have to trust a company with their security. But again, this is why it's important today to make sure that you've checked your resources and make sure that you haven't been on any kind of data leaks. It's just kind of basic video on basically on this. I have there. I'm going to be working on the future, having some other firewall videos about just trying to make sure that I compare them. I'm working with IP firewall versus pfSense, and pfSense versus OpenSense. We had another video that already done on that one. We're going to have kind of break down all the free firewalls, and then we're going to have the fun of testing the firewalls. We're going to go through the configurations here, so that way we can be able to kind of go in, create with future content. Anytime I see any kind of important news here, any kind of important tech news out there, I always want to make sure that we kind of go through them especially when it goes into here, because we want to make sure that if any time that there's any kind of important emails, any kind of data breaches that I personally have been affected by, or maybe somebody out, or if I got emails or notifications that there's been a data breach on certain things, I'm going to try to keep more up to date on it so that I can also update my viewers here too, so that way that we can try to work as a community to make sure we keep everyone safe, and make sure that everything, that if there is a data breach, we try to get everything fixed before it becomes a problem. This is just a video to kind of follow up, just to let everyone know there was a security breach on just your Unified. So this is the email that we received here. Here it shows you what that comes in there, and just to show here, those are the Unified at there. It's a good idea to be able to use make sure that however you're filming communications, make sure you know make sure your password's encrypted if you can. Make sure you can try to use some kind of password manager. Again, it's a good idea to use something like KeyPass that just kind of helps you out with going in things like so that you have it. So this you can see you can easily go into KeyPass and have the test usernames right here is what I have showed them, but you can always very easily just copy and paste from here. But you can very easily go and, like, for example, if we go to edit this test one here, you can see you can very easily go and say, hey, I want to generate a password, and you can just crank that all the way up to 128 characters to every kind of symbol and every kind of characteristic that you have here. And then how it allows it so it can generate it, and then you can see how it generates passwords. So with 128 characters, and it's going to be with spaces, dots, dashes, extended ASCII characters, which are important here, things that people can't really type on the keyboard easy. It's going to make it a lot more secure, so it's going to be a lot harder for if somebody's trying to do anything to be able to make sure they can have a hard time with trying to break through your password, your security policies. If you can try to make sure that two-part authentication is a good idea. It does give you two-part authentication does there. I don't always trust Google on it, so I just try to keep everything locally based more than anything else, and try to watch at what there is from there. But is again more security features you have enabled, the easier it is to make sure that it is a little bit more secure. Two-factor is not a bad thing; it still can be generated, but it does make it so you have to have a key to generate if you're trying to connect online. But again, if you just turn off your cloud-based, if you just turn it off the IU cloud. I try to remote. If I want to do remote to my machine, I'd rather just use the SSH with a good set of security keys and fail to ban on it, so that way they can be able to have it. Makes it very difficult, so they can't guess my password. I'm the one if there's a data breach, I'm the one who's going to know about it. So that again, those are things that you can be able to do if you want to do it kind of remotely, because there's things you can be able to very easily do through the secure shell if you want to, or if go into your computer and just pull like a VNC client and remotely doing it. But again, there's a lot more you can be able to be able to kind of get those. You can set up notifications, kind of say and let you know what's going on. So you can also host it too, which is another good idea to do. Maybe set up like a VPN connection, which is probably the better option to do, basically make sure that's encrypted between the two tunnels. So when you're trying to check it, so those are things that you can. There's a lot of options you have here to be able to try to work around. But again, security needs to be number one. Especially with all these data breaches and stuff, you want to make sure that you're ahead of the game to kind of there, because they want to make sure that everyone, since as long as they let us know that they've noticed some odd issues here, we want to make sure that if you haven't got your email, because a lot of times I know sometimes not checking email all the time, I always make sure I have alerts on to know what's going on. But that's what this video is just mainly about, is just everyone make sure that you check out, make sure there haven't been any kind of data breaches recently. And here's a great example from a Ubiquiti why you want to make sure that happens here. So I'm going to go ahead and this is going to be the end of this video here. Basically, if you have any kind of comments, or what do you think we should be able to, if you have any kind of suggestions of future videos I would like to do, I'll definitely take those as suggestion. I do appreciate you two checking out my channel here, because again, I want to make sure that I'd like to make sure we can support the client. This is just a nice quick few minute video just to let you know about what's going on here.